high school planning. I know I've already shared one video of our plans for high school. Today, I'm going to share with you our updated high school plans. If you are new here, I am Tricia. I'm a homeschooling mom to 3 kids. I will have this coming year a 9th grader, a 5th grader, and a 3rd grader. And we will be beginning our 10th year of homeschooling. So, like I mentioned, if you haven't already watched my original video, I'll pop it up here on a card. Shortly after we did that video, we went to a open house for a local co-op, and I made the decision to join, and that changed our plans. I also have another video talking about the co-op and kind of why I decided after all these years to do it. So if you're interested on that, I will pop it up in a card too. So Elizabeth, though, was really the only one whose classes are going to change based on what we're doing at the co-op. Science, when in the original video I said that we were going to do an oceanography unit for her earth science. We instead are going to do a chemistry class with our co-op. She, as you may know, has taken kitchen and the chemistry this school year and really enjoyed chemistry. When she saw that that was a class available at the co-op, she decided she wanted to go ahead and take it. She's already had her algebra class, so she should be fine on that. The teacher is a retired public school teacher, so I feel confident there that it's not just someone who would be comparable to me, like just kind of going along but not having expertise in the field. I talked with him a lot about it because I had some concerns about the books, and I feel confident that she's going to get a pretty good chemistry education out of it. We'll see. So that was that change. Literature, I'm not sure what I said in that video actually, and writing, I talked about, and I got some great ideas from several of you with different thoughts about IEW, which she really likes. So we're actually going to, I'll talk about it in another one. We're going to use it for some extra. Anyway, I had asked for ideas. As it turns out, she's going to take a literary analysis class at the co-op, which will count as her writing and her literature portion. She'll still need to finish up her grammar, which we're using analytical grammar. She's ready for season 3. But yeah, I am a little nervous. No, I'm not nervous. Well, I was relieved to see that it's only going to require 4 novels. So that made me feel good because, as I've talked about, that's can be a hard part for her. So we are going to, I feel 4 novels I think is a pretty good amount for her. We're going to start the first one this summer so that she already has a head start before we add in the whole school year. The class also uses Seton, which I have not actually looked into much, but it looks pretty good. So I think it's going to be good. The class, when I talked to the teacher, she didn't mention that it was an honors level class, but when I got home, I saw in the course description that it is. That leaves me nervous because, like I've said, language arts is her weakest subject. So we'll see how it goes. But her teacher said, when I asked, there's 2 different classes, and she said, well, can she write a paragraph? I said, yes. So then she should be in mine. Okay. So we'll see how that goes. Spanish is staying the same. She'll take it through Potter School. It's like there's an option to take Spanish level 1 or year 1 over 2 school years. So that's what she's doing. And then next year she'll move into level 2, which is within 1 year, like a normal class. Math, that's staying the same. She'll take geometry through my homeschoolmathclass.com or I think it's my homeschoolmathclass.com. I'm looking forward to it. She's looking forward to it. So we're going to do that. History, that's the other big change. We had talked about American history for the school year. We had a couple different ideas, and we were trying to figure out which one to go with. we had talked about using Hewitt Homeschool has a American history that uses History of Us. So we talked about that. Then we had talked about doing the History of Science books by Joy Hakeem. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. It's the same person who wrote the History of Us books. So we talked about using that kind of as a spine within a larger world history class. And none of it really sounded great until I thought about, well, what about, because she loves modern history. Well, what about doing her world history, but just doing modern world history? I don't have to do a full, we don't have to do the whole span. I mean, would it be great? Yes, but honestly, I think this will be good too, and it'll give her a dive into modern era, and I think it'll be really good. Now, we have found a couple courses on the great courses for lectures, so we may do that. I'm still going to use the Story of Science, the most modern one, the Einstein, I forget what it's called, Einstein something or other. We'll incorporate that. What I haven't decided though is whether, like, I had one idea of doing like South America for 8 weeks, Africa for 8 weeks, Europe, whatever, if I'm going to do it that way, or if we'll just do it chronologically around the world, like the Story of the World does. I'm not sure which way we're going to do it. If you've done a modern world history and you have any resources or ideas, I'd love for you to leave comments below. Even if you haven't done it and you still have ideas or comments, thoughts, whatever, leave them below. I think it's going to be a good class for her, and I'm excited for it. So that'll be that. And then electives. For physical education credit, she's actually, I think, going to, she'll do volleyball with our co-op. She's already started that. And then she's going to do, I think she may do a dance class. She's been taking power bar at the place where we do piano. And the owner recently commented to me that she thought Elizabeth would do really well within a dance class. Never occurred to me. She never really showed much interest, but she said she was really good with power bar and we should give it a shot. So we may, but not until after volleyball season, because that's going to keep us busy. So PE, fine arts, she'll do either piano or guitar. She's not sure which one yet. Possibly, if we can work it out, she would like to do some kind of an art class. Again, we'll see. And then last elective that she's going to do, she'll still do a half credit of the photography one we've talked about, or I mentioned in the last video. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do with it. The Great Courses has a couple photography ones, but I'm going to guess that they're a little more complex than what, and not really written to a young high school student. So I need to come up with that. If you've taken an online course, preferably a work at your own pace one, leave me a comment. I know there's one over at Funda Academy, and I actually looked at it, and I think maybe, but I'd really like a self-paced one. So yeah. And then the last one we're going to do is, I decided to pull in a half credit of history of Christianity, or a history of Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, because my kids are going to take a trip in the fall to Israel with their grandparents through my in-laws' church. So that seems like a great opportunity to get some credit hours or some hours towards a class, and a great opportunity to use that as a basis of an elective, IEW. So we got the recommendations after the last video, and if you were one of those who commented, thank you. Elizabeth really enjoyed it. We printed off a sample, and she enjoyed the U.S. history based one. And we chose that one as a sample because we were thinking again about that for her history class, and I thought, well, she should do a writing that would go along with history and kind of bring it all together. Anyway, she really liked it, so I will use the U.S. history one when we do U.S. history, probably next year, and then I need to look, I haven't done that yet, to see if I know there's a world history, but I don't know if it goes through modern. I know there was like an ancient, and I think a Middle Ages. I'm assuming there's a modern, I don't know. I'd like to do that. And then from Critical Thinking Company, I mentioned that we were going to do the U.S. history detectives, so there is a world history one as well, so we will do the world history detective with that. And now I think that really is all of my things for updated 9th grade homeschool plans. If you have a homeschooler or a high schooler, I'd love to know what you're doing. Leave me a comment below. Thanks for watching.